Welcome to the video. In this video, I'll tell you and I'll explain how you can manifest anything you want and then how the manifestation works and how your mind works and also how I can help you to manifest anything you want, especially growing your business, 10x your business and live the life of your dream. All right, let me share the screen and let's dive in. Boom. All right. So, how to become $1 million frequency. The energy matches only with the same energy. Okay. So if you become a frequency of the $1 million, the millionaire, then you can make millions of dollars. You can grow your business. You can live the life you want to live. Reprogram your mind for abundance and confidence to achieve the biggest goal. Now, the result that I've been providing for my clients is 10x the revenue, $1 million in a month, gaining 1 million followers, become a top level public speaker, lost 40 kilos, then grew their business, walking red carpet at canoes, and etc. and etc. Including myself, I've manifested everything I ever wanted. I remember the 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I created a vision board. I think a lot of people do that, and it was so much fun creating this. I want this, and I want this car, and I want to go to this country, and everything, every picture was actually manifested. So you can do the same. Now, allow me to introduce myself because some people know me for a long time. Some people just found my video on YouTube. And who is this Asian man with the biggest hat? Well, my name is Sho, and that's my real name. And I'm Japanese, born and raised. And I'm the world best reprogramming expert. I'm a mindset coach. Some people call it, manifestation coach, whichever you prefer. TEDx speaker. And I hosted a panel at Harvard University for the Mental Health Summit. And I hypnotized 1,000+ people. And I think this would be a Guinness record. I'm not sure. But the other day at the seminar, I hypnotized 90 people one by one and putting them into a deep trance one by one within 3 hours. So I think that could be a Guinness record. I'm not sure. But anyway, so right now I'm teaching people how to control the mind and energy to awaken the highest human potential to manifest everything we want in this life. And I genuinely love people. Like I love teaching since I was very young. I was really good at playing basketball. So like I was like teaching my friends and my team basketball and like little techniques. And I've taught so many people fashion because I was kind of young fashionista since I was like 13 years old. I was so obsessed with fashion. So I taught so many of my friends and even like as an adult how to dress properly and how to become attractive with the fashion. So just that's who I am. I genuinely love people. I genuinely love watching people achieve their goals and transform. There's a beauty in that transformation. And I'm blessed to be in the position to be able to do things that I really, really love. And right now, currently, I work with usually top coaches for gold medalist, seven-figure entrepreneurs, eight-figure entrepreneur, athlete. One of my clients just won the Dubai competition. He's a bodybuilder, and he just won the competition effortlessly. That's amazing. And I work with influencers, models, and one of my clients actually is an artist, and he's in $1 billion project. They're already making like $10 million in revenue right now. I think with 6 months in. But so yeah, those are the people usually I work with. So what you need to understand about the mind is everything is hypnosis. And most people don't tell you this because they want to hide it. Even Tony Robbins actually never mentioned, just a couple of times in the interview, he was so hesitant about saying hypnosis because a lot of people think that if I say what I'm doing is hypnosis, hypnotizing people, brainwashing people, then of course you get a negative impression. But the reason why I'm letting people know that everything is hypnosis is because we need to be able to protect ourselves from these people. Literally, the life coaches and all these like business gurus are weaponizing the hypnosis. And the reason why I want to be open about this rather than just like not telling everybody and then eventually hypnotizing people is because if you don't know how to protect yourself from people who weaponize those things, then you don't even know that it's happening right now. So that's why I want to know from the one of the the most important lesson from this video, from this case study, is that everything is hypnosis. And your subconscious mind is already programmed to run autopilot to give you the experience consistently. And this is the reason why that your income plateaus. That's why you get stuck in same situations, same revenue for month and a month and a month, and it's frustrating, right? Like I remember when I was like stuck in 10K mark, and maybe some people say like, well, 10K is a 10K per month is a good revenue, it's a good income. But yes, it was one of my dream. Like I achieved my dream, and like wow, like I'm so happy that I made this far from being flat broke, being homeless, to now I'm making 10K per month. But I wanted to get to the next level. I wanted to make more money, but then I couldn't because for 12 months, I was stuck at 10K, and then somehow my business didn't grow. I spent thousands of dollars on a marketing agency and the copywriter and then the other things, and nothing happened. Weirdly, interestingly, nothing happened. So but when I changed my mind, I stepped back and everything was external. I was just focusing on external factors, asking these external factors for answer and a solution. Nothing actually was solved. But when I looking for the solution inside of my mind, inside of my inner reality, in 3 months I went 10K to 50K, 50K to 100K revenue per monthly revenue in just 6 months. So what happens when you reprogram your subconscious mind? You literally become a superhuman, tapping into a human's highest potential, the peak performance, and effortlessly. And this is a very, very important part. Once you tap into this higher level of human potential, nothing is nothing requires effort. You're just it's almost like you're in a flow. That's why it's called a flow state, right? You're when you're in a flow, the you create it not with the go with the flow and then you don't decide anything and then end up in the situation where you don't want to be, but you create the flow by yourself to get to where you want to get to. Okay, so you become $1 million frequency. This is what happens when you can reprogram your mind, and the result will happen. You develop success consciousness. Limiting beliefs will be completely erased, completely gone. I used to be such an overthinker. I used to overthink a lot. I used to be anxious all the time, every single day. And I think too much is crazy. It's almost like fantasy level of anxiety and an overthinking. Maybe you resonate with that. And the intuition becomes so strong, identity changes, and you stop self-sabotaging your own success. This is so big. 90% of the people are not getting what they want and manifesting what they want because they literally sabotaging themselves. It's usually not the people around you or the situation, it's you. It's because you're conditioned to think in a certain way because of your environment or parents or society, or maybe the friends that bullied you back then. So here's one of my clients, Akko. When she came to me, I believe it was 2 years ago, struggling as a single mother. Like she was not making enough money. There's six figure a month. Like she made $100,000 within a 12 month. And she was struggling for about 8 years as a single mother. And, after the divorce, she's got a kid and her income was low, not able to grow or glow. She was actually doing an English teacher and then like getting like $2,000 salary. And then when she came to a seminar, she told me her dream was to become a mindset coach. Like, I really want to empower women. And I thought like that was beautiful. And then she got a really bright energy. So we start working, and the next day we hop on a Zoom call, and then we start working. She joined, and she already became a celebrity interviewer. So she was interviewing all these like celebrities from Hollywood, movie stars. So she wanted to start her business with no experience and knowledge, right? But she didn't know about business. She didn't know about mindset coaching or social media. She only had like a couple thousand followers. It's not big at all. But in the first 2 months, within a 2 month, start working with me, she actually started making $16,000 per month. In 6 months after, she was making 44,000 per month. This is monthly revenue. Okay. And it's how fast your life can change from a single mother to, well, $44,000 per month. If you're making within a 6 months, that's a huge jump. And after 12 months, she made $100,000 in revenue. And now he's Nathan, starting a new business to 230,000 per month in 4 months. What's crazy about him is that he started ecom business as he joined the coaching. So we spoke on a Zoom call, and then he told me about I am literally just starting the ecom business. I've never done it. Let's go. Let's do it. So brand new ecom business, never done it before. He was not sure and he wasn't confident as he's starting a completely new business, right? So I helped him to let go all the limiting beliefs and he had from childhood when he was young and lack of confidence and etc. etc. So from there to gain absolute confidence and self-worth, he started to work less and less every day. He was just, swimming in the pool, chilling in Abu Dhabi, and he reached $70,000 revenue in just 3 months, right? And then hit 230,000 revenue in month four. In month five, he was doing 250,000, which means he's already making $600,000 in 6 months. And now he just won a Dubai competition. He's a bodybuilder too, so he won a Dubai competition and is just effortlessly manifesting everything he ever wanted. And now, what you have to understand is that 99% comes from your mind, 1% comes from the strategy. And it's easy to be sold by these information gurus about how to make money, how to make this, how to do this. And they'll basically sell you a course, teach you this. But you see, the most important thing that even if you have a Ferrari, you could still be a loser. Even if you have a biggest mansion, you could still be a saddest person in the world. You don't want to be that. That's why if you change your mind in identity level, if you change your mind in frequency level, then you can have everything and still be happy and fulfilled. A lot of people are afraid making money, right? And then I used to think the exact same way because I thought money is evil. I thought rich people were bad, like literally, because I was programmed that way. You don't need money, you don't need a big house and all that kind of things. And then I believed it. That's why I chose to be broke unconsciously for a long time, 27 years of my life. And then I realized that is not really what I wanted. That was what parents believed, but I don't want to believe the same thing. So I made a change and I made money. And you can be a beautiful individual, you can be a beautiful person and still be rich. But what you have to understand is everything comes from your mind. Only the 1% comes from the actions and strategies and everything. So most of your decision in life includes the ones that kept you stuck, that kept you broke, that kept you miserable, that kept you sad. It wasn't made by you. It's not. They were made by your subconscious patterns that is already programmed, could be 10 years ago or 20 years ago because of your parents and environment and society. It was not you decide to not to go to the gym. It was not you decide to not to, make money or sell more. You might say things such as like, I don't have enough time. It's not the right moment. I'll think about it. These are not the logical reason that you actually think. That's a survival response from your subconscious mind. It's ingrained into your mind since childhood, right? Because successful people make decision even if it's difficult decision. That's the decisiveness, that's the ability to make a decision. I've never met a successful people that goes like, oh, I'll think about it because I'm a type of person who always meditate on it, right? The successful people is like, hey, let's do it, do it now, right now. And I remember that when I made $2 million, and then I launched a coaching business in Japan, and we had 100 people inside of the coaching, and it was so quick because I partnered up with the marketing agency, and it was so quick. The moment that we decided, let's go, and a month later, we already are doing shooting so many videos. In 2 months, we are already launching, and then in 5 month, 4 or 5, we are already making 500,000. That's how fast things moves when it comes to successful people and the people who can manifest it. Okay, that's why it's not the right timing. I'll think about it. This is not because you think that way. It's just you are conditioned to not to be successful. Okay. And then you're not aware of that because you're focused on the strategies, you're focused on the other things. You justify these things are the right way of the way you live. And therefore you're stuck. So if you don't change this part, you're still stuck in the pattern that somebody else told you, or you've learned from your environment or parents or society. Like I said, everything is hypnosis, okay? So you have to get out from this loop. You have to get out from that. And in order to do so, you have to make a different decision because the insanity is you having this vision of you're becoming a millionaire and having a dream house and driving nice cars and then, having a nice, amazing family and then living the life of your dream. That's not insanity. The insanity is doing the same things over and over and over, making the same decision over and over and over. Oh, I'll think about it. I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. And expecting your life to be completely different. That is insanity, don't you think? Because you can't just have another answer if you don't change the equation. So that's why you got to get different decision. Make a decision which you haven't made that will literally get you out from this negative loop so that you can save yourself from wasting the next 10, 20 years or even the rest of your life getting stuck and not getting what you want. Because otherwise, you're going to be a victim. You don't want to be a victim. You are the main character, you are the hero. So that's why you're destined to fail. If you keep doing the same thing, you're destined to fail with the program you have up in your mind if you don't change it, right? Like I said, the insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. It doesn't happen. It's just that's not how it works in this world. So let me ask you a question. Which do you think is better? Change the way you think. Now, right now, it's change the way you make a decision and get better result and be happy and like manifest things that you want. Or thinking you know it all, thinking subconscious, thinking no, you're a right decision, thinking like, oh, I meditate and I think about it and then, get the same result. Which one do you think is better? Of course, the first one, right? Of course, you want to get the result. Of course, you want to change. You want to manifest. And of course, that's what I thought too. And when I made a decision, the very first time I made an investment, I invested in myself it was $10,000 online coaching. And with the amazing guy, Abraham, we became really good friends. We became a really good relationship after I, hired him as a coach and a mentor. And it was a big money because I was only making $3,000 per month and I was stuck. But I needed to do something because I realized if I don't invest in myself, then I probably get stuck and then become such a small coach with a bunch of followers. That's pathetic. So I decided to hire a coach and then he showed up and I was like, I think I like his energy. I think his energy is very pure and then like he's very genuine. He's not like other coaches that who just keep selling, and I think he's got a good heart and a good spirit. So we hop on a call and obviously he sold me his coaching, $10,000 for only 3 months. And I was like, wow, 3 months. Am I gonna make it in 3 months? And it's $10,000. I only have $3,000 in my PayPal account. Like, what am I gonna do? But somehow I had to make a decision because I felt like that was a chance. And of course, I was afraid because otherwise, how am I going to pay this? Well, but you know what? No risk, no gain. I'm going to just take a leap of faith and I'd rather take the risk of challenging myself or rather than just being a coward and still get stuck in the same loop. So I took a leap of faith and he actually, guided me and he helped me a lot. And in 2 months, I started making $10,000 per month. And that was when my dream came true. My dream came true after I challenged myself and went beyond of my fear and just forgot all these old patterns that I used to think. This is how I make decisions and all that kind of things. And after that, my life is just like, and I'm so happy for Abraham, and I'm so happy and then I'm really grateful for Abraham as well as the past version of myself. That version of myself, it was 5 years ago, that took that action. I'm so grateful because without him, I'm not here, right? And also, I love hiring a mentor. Right now, I also have a mentorship from a very old gentleman. I cannot talk about that much, but back in the days, I had another mentor. After Abraham, I joined a lot of different coachings and mentorship to learn a lot of things. And one of my mentor, he also, we hop on a Zoom call, and he, I wanted to join his coaching, right? And then he said to me on a Zoom call, I believe it was a Zoom call, and he asked me, he said, "Do you think do you have a lot of limiting beliefs around money, Shell?" And I was like, I thought about it. That's a good question. And I did all the inner work, right? And I've done like I've meditated more than 10 hours a day. I did inner child healing. I did all of the kind of things. I think I've done so much enough to say that I don't have any limiting beliefs around money. And I had that pride, right? I had that pride and ego. And it was funny because there's one of my YouTube, it was a black guy that I was talking about law of attraction and the money blockages on YouTube. And then I found it and then I just clicked it. And this guy was saying like you have to apologize money. If you apologize money, you'll manifest so much money, you attract so much money abundance. And I was like, this is it. This is the only thing that I haven't done yet. So I excuse me, I literally start listing the writing my limiting beliefs around money, like oh money is evil, like rich people are bad, I'm not good enough, or like whatever. And then I start apologizing to each, like I'm sorry money. And then I was like, okay, this is it, done, I'm good to go. Well, of course, nothing happened after that, but I was already making 10K per month, and then I've done all this stupid inner work, like apologizing money too. So I said, well, I don't think so because I've done everything. And then I'm making 10K per month, right? And then he said, okay, cool. So you're making $10,000 a month and you don't think you have a limiting belief on money. And he said, well, if you're only making 10K per month, you have so many limiting beliefs around money. You're filled with the blockages, Joe. And I was like, damn. I was so annoyed because my ego and my pride was like it was hurt, right? Because I've done so much and I think I know subconscious, I think I knew everything, and then I'm already making 10K per month. But my stupid ego and stupid pride was just not necessary, it was not important. So I just let that go. And then I was like, you know what? Please teach me because I want to get to the next level. I want to get to the 50K per month. I want to get to the 100K per month. And I was like, all right, I'll listen to you. Can you help me? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And as he said, after 3 months, I was already making 50K per month. And I believe 50K in revenue. And the next month four was a 40K, and then 40K. So 50, 40, 40. And then the 6 month, no, sorry, three, four, yeah, 3, 4, 5. And then after 6 months, I was so sick, but then I reached $100,000 revenue in just 6 months. So I 10xed within a 6 months period of time, the revenue. And I believe the month three was $70,000 cash collected, and revenue it was 100K. Yes. So that's how fast your life can change. Okay. Now, your income is a reflection of your mind. Your income is not growing because you don't have a good beliefs around money. And it was painful for me too, but I'm glad that I accepted it. And I'm glad that I had a capacity to let go my ego and pride to just listen and be open about, wisdom, and be open about the coaching so that I didn't get stuck for, 10K for another 12 months or another 2 years, 3 years. And your self-worth is so low that you have unconsciously reject abundance. A lot of people actually reject abundance even though they're asking. They're asking universe and God, please, please give me abundance, help me to make more money. And then they're rejecting it because their self-worth is so low. And I used to struggle with it too. Now, your vessel is too small, you cannot receive abundance. Your actions, your vessel means that your idea of yourself, your identity, and then your self-image. And your actions are predetermined already not to have a breakthrough. Again, this is a pattern that you already have in your subconscious mind. Now, when you change your code of the mind, your reality shifts instantaneously. Change happens instantaneous, like this quick. And I've seen it so many times. I have another coaching in Japan and I have a community there and have people who's making like, you know, seven, eight figures too. And people went from $3,000 to $100,000 within 3 months, like monthly revenue from 3K to 100K in 3 months. A lot of people think that's crazy. A lot of people think that's bullshit. I'm lying, but it's true. Like her name is Yuri, and she was running a coaching business. She was only making $3,000 per month, and she went 100K, boom, in 3 months. So that's how fast people can change. Okay, because when you change the code, your reality shift instantaneous. And this is a lie. A lot of people say change takes time. And in order to manifest, it takes time. It's a lie. It's their limiting beliefs. Okay. If you learn from someone who has so many limiting beliefs, which on social media right now, it's so easy. It's so easy to learn from someone a bunch of limiting beliefs because they're pretending they're faking on social media. They're pretending and faking that they are confident. They're rich. They know it all. But they're chat GPT, right? It's chat GPT. Let's face it. So if people are saying that change takes time, it doesn't. Growth takes time. To grow into the version you're always evolving, of course it takes time because it's a never-ending story. And the more you invest in yourself, the better person you become. You know, the richer you become, and then the better that your life become. But the change happens like that. You can manifest very, very quickly. That's why my clients usually manifest the gigantic goals within a 3 to 6 month period of time. And that's how fast we operate. Because successful people that I've learned at least the last 5 years of my entrepreneurship and learning from amazing people, I've learned that people who just successful make very quick decision and therefore they can manifest it very quickly. But what I provide to a client is another level because most of the time that you cannot quantum leap like that is because I have a proven system. Okay. So the reason why that you have to listen to the real confidence, the real authentic information, because most people are speaking from their limiting beliefs. Change happens right now, as quick as it can be. All right. Now, let me share a bit of my identity shifting experience, okay? And then I'm a person who used to struggle with money blockages. And for the first 27 years of my life, I was flat broke. And it was crazy because I remember like back in the days when I was younger, I went to LA and I stayed in a just $20 hostel. And it was cheap. You know, dirty is only one fucking bathroom. One bathroom, toilet, shower combined, and then we were 20 in the hostel. I'm sorry, I went to a bathroom, well, bathroom quote unquote outside because I just couldn't hold it. But then I was crazy. It was crazy because now in hindsight, I realized I was so proud of myself being broke. And that's how messed up my mind was. I was even proud to do this cheap solo brokey trouble. And I'm telling myself I am experiencing life. Well, life is not only just that part, life is like, you know, much more wider than that experience. And of course, I've learned a lot, but I was so proud of being broke. It's a defense mechanism of not trying to change myself or try to see the potential of what I have in order to manifest what I want and to become rich and to build a business to just live the life you want to live and to be the person you want to be. I was just rejecting it. And then the best way for my subconscious is to just be proud of not having money. However, after years of learning about subconscious and learning about meditation and hypnosis and all these things, I also went through a deep hypnosis as well as transformational work within myself. I invested 10K, $10,000 for this seminar. It was about 2 day seminar. It was just 2 hours each day. It's not that like so it's nothing. It's nothing literally. It's not whole day or anything. It's just 2 days, but 2 hours each, and it was $10,000 for 2 days. And I joined that, and then, but it was great because with that help, I needed to go through this identity shifting experience in order to get to the next level. And after deep hypnosis, I felt like something is just changing, but I don't know what, right? It's a subtle feeling. And then I went through that hypnosis and a deep transformation. I focused on just inner transformation. That month, I spent $100,000 on just internal transformation. Okay, so like $10,000 on a seminar, and here's a different 10,000, here's different $20,000. And I just focused on internal transformation, not like my business transformation. And then I spent $100,000 in 1 month. And that month, my business was not doing great, but I just ignored what's happening right now, but I like focused on internal, not on marketing. I don't care about marketing, business. I don't care about sales, nothing. Just like I need to go through this internal identity shifting. And then what happened was end of the month, the 31st, I run a seminar. And in this seminar, we did a $700,000 in one single night as a revenue. One day, I made $700,000. And it was the biggest, I mean, it was the biggest day. And it surprised me so much because I wouldn't have even imagined that I could make 700K in one single day a couple of years ago. Because I was like growing and growing, but I was stuck at $10,000. So, and it happened not from the marketing. It happened not from doing all these strategies or sales. It's literally the energy. It's literally my mind allowed, and my spirit and mind allowed me to be that version of myself who can make such a big chunk of money in just one day. Now, the Iris is also one of my clients, and she was chasing healings, like going through this, shamans and all this inner healing, inner child healing. And she was actually lost when she came to me. And she's a good friend of mine beforehand. And we knew each other, and she was a good friend of mine. And she was like, "Hey, Shell, like I really need your help right now." And she, wanted to pay it, and she wanted to join the coaching in a proper way. And but she was lost. Like she was like, I want to do it. I want to be a DJ to 100K per month in 180 days. Within a 6 month, she was already making 100K in revenue. She made it in 1 week, and I was there because she was in Bali. I was in Bali. I was working in a different with the different people, but she happened to be in Bali, and then like we just hung out together, and then she was every day. She was like, I have a sales call. I have a sales call. Oh my God, closed, closed, closed. And then in 1 week, she made $100,000. So, even though she was lost, she wanted to be a DJ and all that kind of things. But I helped her to be confident. I didn't touch her business. I didn't do nothing. I helped her to be confident. And then she realized that she was already healed, right? And then she needed was a change, the way she looked herself, her identity. And all of that change happens within a 6 month. And she went from $5,000 per month to $100,000 per month in just 6 months. And now she actually inspiring so many people in Japan as a mindset coach. Now, oops, skip the Ramachan. And another client of mine is a Ramachan from too much masculine energy. I'm sorry, from too much masculine energy, edge of burnout to a effortlessly 6 figure per month. And she was struggling because she had to hustle and work too hard to make multi 6 figure business. She was already successful, but she was close to burning out. So I helped her to realign within herself and change the way she thinks about business. And she started using the feminine energy to run her business. And then she, like in 4 months, she went from 150K per year to 150K per month. The same mind that created the problem cannot solve the problem. Many people are like, I want to sleep on it. I want to meditate on it. And listen, I have been meditating way more than you, and I've been meditating like insane. But it's crazy. You don't need a 2 hours morning routine. You don't need a 2 hours night routine to actually manifest what you want. All you need to do is to reprogram your mind. change, hijack your mind and plant a new seed so that it's completely changed. But most people who talks about manifestation cannot do it because all they know is just act as if you already have it. Because it's the recycle pattern of Napoleon Hill and then other Bob Proctor and all that kind of things. They cannot explain how to do it. It's all hypnosis, okay? And some people don't want to talk about hypnosis because they want to weaponize it. All right. So you have to first get out from the pattern that you currently have. Because if you're making the same decision, then you get the same result. And that's why we have to think different. Okay. That's what I said. The most important part is that made me a millionaire and that basically helped me to manifest everything I want is the courage. If you're not taking enough risk, you're not living to your full potential. But either way, you're taking a risk because everything comes with a risk, right? You never know when you get hit by a car. You never know when you get like diseases. You never know when you really lose eyesight. You really never know what's going to happen. So we have to really take a risk and live fully, but it requires a courage. It's easy to justify the lack of courage and say like, "Oh, I don't want to do it. It's not best timing." It's just indication that you're not brave enough to take a risk for your life and for your future because not everybody can do it. But I believe if you can see the vision and if you can see that yourself doing what you want to do and living the life you want to do, all you need is courage in order to manifest. So why most people don't get result from other courses is because most courses give you what they learn from books and YouTube and other courses. If that book can help everybody, then of course everybody should be a millionaire. But that's not the case. Sadly, everyone uses ChatGPT, and that's what it is, right? I experimented with over 1,000 people with the hypnosis and the meditations and how this specific way that also CIA invested $500,000 to hijack people's mind, to erase the people's memory and as well as identity. And I use that in an ethical way because all I want to do is to see people grow and then be happy. So there is a certain way to reprogram your mind, and that requires a skill, and not everyone has it because so many people have a hypnotherapy certifications and stuff like that. And I went to a school to everybody can get it, right? It's like the skill has nothing to do with the certification. But I've experimented and I found this very specific way to reach the back door of your subconscious, surpass the critical faculty, which is a filter that exists between your conscious mind and subconscious mind, and effortlessly to change your mind or rewire your brain. And that's why I actually made a 700K a day using this formula, exactly what I do for my clients. And you're hypnotized. Well, you have to understand you're hypnotized by the society, propaganda, and the people around you. Don't you think so? A lot of people like believe this. And it's not a conspiracy theory, but there are people who want to hypnotize you, brainwash you for a certain reason, for benefit, right? And also, the first 7 years of your life, your brain waves in a theta, which is the gateway to your subconscious mind. You're in trance. So in order to construct your identity and become this is me, this is show, my first 7 years needs to be spent to construct this identity, create this idea of self. That's why a lot of problems, a lot of blockages, and limiting beliefs, comes from the first 7 years of your life. And you already became that version of yourself. So my parents, did our best, and I love my parents and I respect my parents. But when it comes to the making money, they also had the blockages and limiting beliefs, right? So like everything that I observe and I've learned from that, it made me a person who just cannot make money. But I needed to make a change because I wanted to something different. The same. It's all about the unlearning and then learning something different. And the best way is to become $1 million frequency, Okay, everything is a frequency. As we know, the music is a frequency, sound, voice, elements, frequency, and things of frequency. People are frequency. We are energy. So we have to be in alignment. Because imagine if you're like, if you can say all the kind of things, mind and spirit and whatever, if you can say like I'm so spiritual and then you can be like insanely overweight. You see, the overweight comes from the problem in your mind. So it's not aligned, right? If your body is not in alignment with what you want in your mind, it's not going to be manifested. So everything has to be complete alignment. And then if you're aligned, you take the right action, you meet the right people, you think the right thoughts, and you think the right idea, and then you do the right things, and then voila, you manifest it. It's not that difficult. But if you're not aligned, everything is not aligned. Of course, it's difficult. If you listen to music, everyone is doing whatever they want to do, and it's completely not aligned. That melody doesn't sound good, right? So it's the same. Your reality needs to be completely aligned based on what you want, not what you don't want. And so it's not the theory. The how I coach people and how I um, hypnotize is actually the skill and knowledge that is not taught in the school. And it's actually shared in secret society as well as the CIS. And most people don't have access to this. That's why I'm saying I had to experiment it by myself in order to confirm how the mind works and how this skill works. So this is not a theory. You cannot learn from the books. You cannot learn from the YouTube, what I know. And I've coached more than 1,000 people and hypnotized 1,000+ people. And the result is already there and proven many times. So that's why all we need is to be able to be open and then let go all the judgment and pattern that you already have and then surrender to the fact that your mind is everything. The mind is the all is the mind. A lot of people talk about spirituality, but if you cannot manifest your intention, your vision into the reality, then that is the spiritual vanity. The spiritual community want to put you in the trap and then this void so that you can just feed your ego. But the real essence of the spirituality talks about manifestation. So you should be able to manifest anything you want. And that's a real spirituality. You don't need all these other ideas about the spirituality. You learn how to manifest your life in the way that you want to live. And that is an essence. It's literally the core part of the spirituality. So don't fall into the just spiritual trap that only feeds your ego. Okay, you can manifest it. There's so much power. It's all you need to do is understand how the mind works and technology, and then you just hijack it and turn it into the program that helps you to live the life that you want to live. So my coaching is called Alchemist, the chosen individual who ability to manifest anything in this reality. Okay, everyone has this ability, but I am teaching people how to do it. Alchemist can turn the setbacks into success. Any negative seems like a negative experience into positive lessons and big success. Okay, and then if you can use this alchemy within you, then there's nothing you cannot manifest. And as I said, I've provided a result, just 10x revenue, $1 million in a month, gaining 1 million plus followers, becoming a top level public speaker, lost 40 kilo, walking red carpet at Kanu and etc. And everything happened under my coaching. And it's crazy because your mind is so powerful, okay? You just have to be open to that power and then learn how to use it. And I'll teach you exactly how you can use this mind in the right way possible because most of the people, 99% of the people are not using the mind correctly. Now, if you haven't booked a call yet, book a free consultation call, and me or my team will speak to you through the exact formula that I use and then help you to tell you exactly what we do and then help my clients 10x their revenue and manifest everything they ever wanted. If you're ready to change your mind and grow your business, let's see if we're a good fit. I am super excited to see you inside the coaching. All right, with this said, I'll see you very, very soon. Peace.